Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and all other types of stuff. It's not really morning anymore, but this is the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Robinson. With me, right on time, is my man, Phil Jones. Phil, how you doing today?
Not bad, Joe. How y'all doing?
Good, good, good. So we got some new news to talk about. We got a signing, a wide receiver. The Raiders have needed a wide receiver, and after that Deshaun Jackson fiasco, they went out and another guy. Now, is that they're going to move on from Deshaun Jackson? I don't believe so. But they also have given themselves another weapon to use just in case something like what happened against the Chiefs happens again.
I mean, do we really put it on what happened with the Chiefs, or we just look at it as you need to make a better move than what you're doing? Maybe a damn position change.
That could definitely be possible. Definitely be possible. But I look at this move and I went back and I pulled up his some videos to watch on him because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who he was.
You should have
And
known who he was. This
I
man
should have,
dogged
you're
us
right.
last year.
Tore us up. And that was where the highlights that I saw. Along with what I saw from his days back at Oklahoma State. So back at Oklahoma State, he looked more like a possession type receiver with a healthy amount of speed. His routes were very crisp, and what I noticed in his pro day when he was running against air is that his breaks are sharper from the left side of the field rather than the right.
You said Chris on the right side of the field or the left side?
Left,
Well, if you
which is primarily where he played at Oklahoma State, so that would
so
make sense.
the left side of the field, okay, so I'm going to tell you this. It goes back to what I just said. What had just happened when we played against them that last game of the season? Well, not the last game of the season, but the game that we played them for the last time when we were at home, when Mariota took over. That was
He
who Herbert
was
threw to.
right. And I watched how he did it, and it looked initially when it came to the Chargers, it looks like they really asked him to run one route, and it wasn't as much of a go as much of a cover two beater in which he lined up, and from wherever he was, he just took a diagonal slant straight at the flag and just outran everybody around him. Now,
Yeah.
he's not Henry Ruggs fast, but I went up and I looked at his 40 time from his pro day because he didn't run a 40 at the combine, and his 40 time at his pro day was a 4.36. He's 6 feet 6 foot one and 194 pounds. And so to me, he's right in the middle of the sizes of your receivers. He's not as big as Brian Edwards. He's not as small as Deshaun Jackson and Hunter Renfrow, and he's faster than everybody except for everybody, and arguably as fast as Jackson.
Yeah.
So, he can do a lot of things. What I noticed that was best about him was his ability to track the football and make aggressive catches with his hands and bail out his quarterback when he threw a terrible pass. Because at Oklahoma State, Cornelius was all over the place.
No, that is true. He was.
And so he's one that he could definitely be a piece. What so he looks like he could compete, and I'm sad to say that he could be competing with Zay Jones. When I stop and do the breakdown in terms of body size and speed, he looks like he could give you a little bit more speed than Zay Jones, and maybe you lose maybe about 5-10 pounds
Possibly.
and an inch. Um, It is it's definitely something to look at, and they expect to bring him up and get him up to speed quickly. And so anything that can help this team, I'm all for it. It's nice. In Los Angeles, Johnson ran into a problem where they just had too many wide receivers. Anything that can help this team, I'm all for it. It's nice. He in Los Angeles, Johnson ran into a problem where they just had too many wide receivers.
Yeah, he was behind what Williams. Then you look at he's behind Allen. And then you had some smaller receivers to like to use. So when you look at that whole situation, it's like, damn. I mean, you're sliding at the bottom of the depth chart, and then now you also got to factor in that you have a new regime. So when you have that whole new regime right now, you're the odd man out because they want to bring in the guy that they might want. You want to bring in a guy that probably fits your system a little bit better than what he's doing. It was kind of similar to what happened to Casey Hayward.
No, without a doubt, and it just out there with Urban Meyer and Urban Meyer's offense. Nobody's able to succeed except for Robinson, I believe, the running back.
No, definitely.
But so going back to the like as you said about the game against with the Chargers against the Raiders last season, said Tyron Johnson caught 20 of his 26 targets for 398 yards, averaging 19.9 yards per reception with 3 touchdowns, and his overall catch percentage came out to be 76.9. So that is pretty freaking solid. That is, and especially on a team that's having problems with speed and getting open downfield, this should help.
Nah, it can help, but are you going to deliver the ball? That's the whole thing. We can talk about we're getting this help, we're getting that help, but is the person throwing the ball going to deliver it?
Or are they tooling up for somebody who will?
Because time's starting to run out, my friend.
Week by week. Right now, they're a game above 500. They don't win this week, they'll be 500 with 7 games left to play. And the AFC is wide open. Even at 5-4, they're still right. They're a game out of the hunt.
Yeah,
with tiebreakers over most of the teams that are in the hunt.
Nah, definitely.
So a win versus the Chargers and the Chiefs flips playoff standings and has them jump at least 2 spots.
Hold on, man.
So, what have we got in the comments section? So we already seen Chansworthy Evans. Is there anybody else? Anybody else got something?
Now see, here's one thing. I got done looking at all 22.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I might come back on later tonight and we can digest into that. But Phil, Raiders are going to have to get this together. I mean, you have the guys up front. You have guys defensively and offensively that can get the job done. Coaching wise, since we have folks that want to try to blame the defense for every little thing, we can say this. Gus Bradley needs to have confidence on the back end. He needs to go on and mix it up. That's it. If he can mix up what he was showing, like he did in the beginning when they went 3 and out, they got it. And you know the funny thing about it? They were jamming guys at the line. Remember I told you they weren't properly jamming Travis Kelce at the line, Phil.
Yes, I
Well,
do.
guess what? They weren't. And guess who was lined up on Travis Kelce?
You boy,
Jonathan Abram.
all game.
Jonathan Abram was the weakest link in this defense on Sunday. And what makes things worse, wherever he was lined up at, Patrick Mahomes attacked that. Whether he was in that vicinity, because what kind of threw me off, it felt like he was out of place. Like he was over pursuing. Everybody else did their job. Everybody wanted to come at Brandon Faison, but was wild. Faison, I think after the only one play he had against Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek Hill got beat him.
Yeah, was
Other
the one on the sideline.
than that, he was the one that was. It can take one person that can F up everything. You remember how we had Ray Armstrong that would come right on in
Ray.
and screw up a play? About on the same level how you had LaMarcus Joyner last year when he would come in, and then it caused a huge clusterfuck. You're supposed to be, well, really, Abram actually looked like himself from last year.
Well, some teams just have your number, and Abram has looked solid against everybody else. But Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are his adopted father, his shareholders, all of that, because they own him. They absolutely own him. Whenever they see Jonathan Abram, they just get excited and just know they're about to have a big day.
Like it was just wild. It was just wild because it was like Mahomes, like, oh, Abrams is in that area. I'm gonna throw it over that area. Even on the last touchdown they scored, guess who's over in that area? Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
Any area that Jonathan Abram was in, he threw to that area. Now, the areas he didn't throw to, or the areas that he did throw to, when Abrams wasn't there, guess what it was?
Incompletion.
It was either an incompletion or a stop. No, I'm just telling you, he's an effort. He's in that vicinity. I know if I run like a corner route, my guy is going to get the ball. I know in a soft coverage, if he's right there, we can throw it right there. Boom. Abrams. So the one player, it was like 3rd and 5. It's first quarter. I'm like, we got him. Good coverage. So maybe in a way, I take back what I said. Maybe the coverage that Bradley was running was correct, but you had a weak link. And maybe that's why they were looking at some secondary players for tryouts the other day.
So what have you heard about Divine Diablo? Now, they said that they wanted him to be a linebacker. I never believed it. I know that Arizona's had some success with converting safeties into linebackers, but this isn't Arizona.
So went back on one of the goal line defensive plays. Abrams not in. Divine Diablo's in. And it was the bootleg for Patrick Mahomes. It was like literally right before Abrams had bid on the play action on the last. I think it was third down. He was it third. I think it was like 3rd and goal or 4th and goal. But he bid on the play action and got engulfed. And I thought the blame was on. I said my damn linebacker's name.
KJ Wright?
No.
Littleton?
No.
Perriman,
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, damn, they lined up Perriman. No, Perriman, he was doing what he was supposed to do. In zone coverage for that vicinity, your safety's supposed to be there to cut that off. Jonathan Abram went right on in. I'm like, I don't think you were supposed to blitz, homie. I think you were supposed to come in, stop, and then you should have backpedaled out of that. He went and over pursued and got engulfed in. And then Mahomes was like, oh, that back end is wide open.
Yep.
Because they're not going to, if you look at it, they're not going to try to run it in on a goal line stand like that.
No, they shouldn't be
And
anyway.
if you looked at the whole entire game, Kansas City didn't do that. Kansas City was like, I think we can shred them in the passing game. Actually, Kansas City attacked us with the thing that we've been best at. So they challenged our secondary, something that we've been good at all season, and said, hey, let's keep lighting them up.
It comes back to something that I said on Tuesday when you look at how Kansas City approached the Raiders defense. Everybody who's had success on them has had a team that could successfully execute cover 2 and cover 4. That's not what the Raiders did best. In fact, that's what Gunther ran a lot of. They got them eaten up. And so when you look at the fact that the pass rush was largely ineffective and unable to get a hand on Mahomes, forget about getting him on the ground, getting a hand on him and hitting him and making him uncomfortable. He was sitting pretty back there. And a lot of that is due to the refereeing and the officiating. I definitely have a big problem with that. But some of that as well is Max has got to learn how to get people's hands off of him. And that's just what it is. At this point, with everything that he's done in his development, that's the next step that's going to transcend him from being good to great. Because he simply can't allow himself to be held like that and not be able to produce a positive impact on the game. You are right there to make every play. You got to get those guys' hands off you. Don't even bother looking at the ref because they're not going to throw the flag, bro. I mean, this has happened for years now. You might as well not even be mad. You might as well just focus on figuring out a way to get their hands off you. But to get past that and go back to what I say, Kansas City came out with the express game plan to eat up cover 3. Reed said it in his post-game interview. So did Mahomes. They came out, they expected them to play cover 2 and cover 3. And when they got it, when they saw it, they knew exactly what to do. And that is how Mahomes tore up this defense.
Yeah. And like, I'm going back and looking at something, and now we go back offensively. The weakest link on that offensive line of ours, John Simpson got abused.
Well, I mean, we could continue to hammer on Jonathan Simpson, but let's be honest. Jonathan Simpson is a backup. He was never supposed to start. The 5th round draft pick.
Hold on. It don't matter if somebody is a 5th round draft pick or a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick.
Sure don't.
Because technically speaking, you can get your best old lineman in that round.
In the back, yeah.
Okay.
Back into the draft.
Now, how they brought in John Simpson was have him develop, and he would take over as your starter once Incognito was done. And well, clearly he's done because this man, you love his tenacity, you love what he brings, but when you're not healthy, availability, where's it at?
He's a bad dude. He's a capable run blocker. He's a capable blocker. And if he was healthy, he'd still be a Pro Bowler. But the fact of the matter is, because he cannot get on the field, he is continuing to collect the check for nothing. For nothing.
And it's really unfortunate. But here's my thing. If you see that you're having this problem out of John Simpson, You have another solution at guard. You know that, right?
Illuminor, the one that you pulled.
Because he didn't do a bad fucking job, in my
I
opinion.
still don't understand why
You
he
know,
got pulled. Yeah.
well, you know what I think that comes from? That comes from somebody in the front office wanting to dip their toe in the hey, I need my draft pick to still be in the starting lineup.
It very well may.
And
And
it ain't a very well made. It's looking like that. When you look at somebody that's playing like that is playing subpar and they're constantly playing them, but you know the other person can play better, common sense should start to tell you that you have somebody that has swung on by from upstairs to tell your line coach that I need you to keep this guy in.
uh
And that's corporate business
absolutely it is.
101.
Absolutely it is. And with the way this season has gone, that's one more point in the column of why Mayock should no longer be the general manager of this football team. I know a lot of people want to see him get one more year without Gruden, and quite frankly, based off what I've seen, based off the status of that 2020 draft class, it's easy. It's way too easy for everybody to try to put that on Gruden. Gruden doesn't have scouts like that out there. Otherwise, there would have been no point in bringing in Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
Literally none.
Because as I recall, the Raiders had brought in guys that Mike Mayock wanted
All of his people.
back in what 2019
2019.
and then
Yeah.
a little bit more in 2020. So
Yep.
when you ask for this guy that came out of New England, or you ask for this guy that's came from like, that was a scout back at and he has good ties to his father's name as well, going back I think from University of Michigan. I mean, you go back and look at guys that you're bringing in, and they say, well, he's a good guy, good character guy. We can expect to see good things for him for the next years to come. Like from if he came in this year, it'd probably be a little bumpy ride, and I can understand that as a rookie. But when you see year 2, 3, and 4, and they're looking like how they did the rookie year, someone didn't do what they were supposed to do correctly.
Oh, I just got a little bit of breaking news. It's all over Twitter, so it's not just me. Stupid is as stupid does, Phil. Would you like to hear how stupid is this time?
Oh Lord.
So once again, our dear friend Antonio is involved in another personal dispute with somebody I'm guessing he probably owes money to. In which case, this said individual, his personal chef, has alleged that he obtained a fake vaccination card to avoid NFL protocols.
Oh,
And this is
no.
coming from NFL Stroud, so you know that this is indeed reputable.
Oh no, 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 no. Oh
Our
Lord.
dear friend Antonio, the gift that just keeps on giving. He might have got his ring, but the records are probably not going to get broken at this time.
See, I left my phone in the other room. I kept wondering why it was going off on. So I had look. If there's any breaking news that somebody sent it to me, the alert goes off like
You just hear it just buzzing. Oh, what the hell's going on?
Oh my god,
So
man, that is.
So that's what he was doing in Paul Gunther's defense, and we saw how well that worked out. As for Brad, listen, the tight end is traditionally supposed to be covered by your strong safety. That's literally why he's there, for covering tight ends and run support. The fact that Abram is terrible in coverage is a glaring red flag on the scouting department on how they managed to bill this guy as a first round draft pick. There's just no excusing that.
Damn.
Right on, fam. We appreciate you too. Like, please, for all those I see, there's not that many people in the chat right now, which is fine. For anybody who gets a chance to see this video, please like and subscribe. Help us get over 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize and get you guys more exclusive content, do more things like this, and just better cover the Raiders. We're also going to be looking to expand pretty soon, so bear with us, and you know what I'm saying, keep showing that love and support, please.
You know that's jail time, right?
I am very much aware. Well, he lives in Florida, so they do a lot of funny things in Florida.
But when you respond to the rules and regulations of the NFL, but when you're messing with something that is health documentation and is being falsified, well, we know he can pay the money, but he got to do that jail time.
But you know, anything goes in Florida. So you see what they're doing in Texas. The federal government had to sue the governor in his own damn state to block his vaccination ban. So we got all kinds of stuff going on with that. But once again, our dear friend Antonio, stupid is as stupid does. But other than that, this was supposed to be a little short. This wasn't a full hour long episode. I've gotten through anything. Oh, hold on. What you got for us? Go ahead, shoot.
What?
No, Mario R asked if we're taking questions. I said, shoot. I was getting ready
Okay.
to end it, but you got a question? Shoot. Hopefully, we're just waiting for Mario to type. What happens to Carr if the same shit happens like last year? Are you talking about the 2-5 finish and no playoffs? And somebody's talking about how 8-8 is a great accomplishment, especially when he said that the league was set up for teams to go 8-8.
That's already setting up, man. I mean, look at it. You done lost 2 straight coming off the bye. You lost a away game. You lost
that was this year, bro.
I know. I'm saying you're literally imitating what you did last year. You're repeating the same mistakes.
So do I expect the coaching staff to make adjustments? They damn sure better. They are in position to where they can make the playoffs. They got to go out some these mistakes. Let me just say this right now. Everybody's been talking about a rebuild. Now, they may have a rebuild, but it's not quite going to be the rebuild that you think it is, because right now the Raiders front office situation is in complete disarray. They have even the financial department and all those guys are in complete disarray. That's where they got to start up. That's where they got to start up with, and that's what they got to get under control. Then they got to get back to making sure that the coaching staff and the talent act with the player personnel department is doing a hell of a lot better than they are right now. So the coaches, if they intend to keep their jobs, are going to have to show that they know how to make the right call and get the players into position to make plays and continue to have the success that they had at the beginning of the season. Otherwise, they won't have jobs either.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. A rebuild, it doesn't have to be like from the ground. It doesn't have to be like how we saw all those years in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
you can do a rebuild, but it could be like, okay, the things that we really need to adjust. Front office, we need to get a better GM, got to get a better got to touch up the staff, got to get a new head coach, offensive coordinator. Possibility you end up keeping the same defensive coordinator there or
That's
same
got
defensive staff,
Yeah, that would
because
be the only staff that I believe that should be kept.
if Ventrelli wants to stay as team president, you're good, or you look for a new president. And to be honest, I feel like if they do give Ventrelli a chance, I feel like he would. I feel like he would do a solid job. I don't think he'll be a problem. And the one thing that the team's going to have to do, they really need to get a group where they can keep a watchful eye on these guys for outside activity. But I
They
mean, but
they
overall,
de-
yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
on. Well, really, you don't have to see the rebuild that we had. We got rid of everything. That was the problem. Everything. Guys that we consider as decent top players, we got rid of them. We had out of whack contracts. We don't have that problem. That's what they're getting confused with the rebuild, that we're going to be like, oh, we're going to be purging the whole entire roster. No, it's not going to be the roster, really. It's just going to be your coaching staff. You need a better coaching staff that can get the job done. You need a leader of men for your head coach. You need an offensive coordinator that can get guys to comprehend the route tree, blocking. That's why I'm like, they could probably keep the same O-line coach. You could keep the O-line coach. You could keep the defensive staff. It's really, you just need a head coach. But in the end, it's his decision. He's like, look, I want to get my guys.
Right. And to some of the comments, that there is a lot of talent on this football team,
Yeah.
which is why a complete rebuild is not necessary.
This
I've
is
been
like
calling it
this is like a
retool.
I put it like this. This is like, how like a restaurant, like it has everything you need, but they don't have a good building setup.
Yeah, the feng shui and the floor layout sucks.
This is basically Gordon Ramsay redoing your restaurant. Like, you got a good menu. You just need, better staff to cook the food. And you just need to clean up, and just change the style of it. That's it.
Right.
That's what the Raiders need. But in this situation, you got the stadium, you got a great facility, and you got some solid key players that are not subpar. Hey, Sandy, how you doing, man? So the whole thing is, get you a better head coach, get your offensive coordinator situation. Maybe if you do have to retool the whole staff, I understand it. It sucks because I do like Gus Bradley a lot. But if it comes down to that, make sure you're not getting somebody that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
Get guys that have the experience. They know what they're doing. Shoot. If you go back and get anybody for a defensive coordinator, because I got a weird feeling, Phil, because there's a whole bickering battle between Robert Saleh from the Jets and Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan, as a coordinator, he was great. Head coach, no.
Terrible. Same thing with Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
Same exact thing with Gus Bradley. Now, word around the campfire is that Rex Ryan has expressed his availability to return to the sidelines.
Oh, really?
Word around the campfire. And I sincerely hope that what I heard is not true, but it is a high possibility that it is.
Well, hide your wives and hide the feet.
Make sure they got socks on and Uggs. Cover them toes up. Mm, mm, mm.
But I mean, other than that, look, cause I want to go back. Let's meet back up tonight and let's go on and discuss more for Sunday's game, and we'll go back and grab certain pieces of what the Raiders need to do to come out in a better situation on Sunday versus what they did Sunday night. Because I'm going to just say this: the Bengals are not easy. The Bengals are
No.
tough.
Yes. It's a better matchup than I look at it and it's a better matchup than I initially thought. They got really good pieces, but schematically it's a better matchup than the Chiefs. The tight end is good, but he's not Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
The run game is going to be a lot better, but it's more of a traditional rushing attack, and they should be
Yeah.
able to stay in their base defense without a problem.
Then the one thing they like to do, they like to take advantage of going to the outside. So if you
Yes.
can contain the outside better and take away the outside running lanes, you take the 9, you take the 8 away. I mean, shoot, you got a chance.
And it's going to come down to tackling. They got some boss hogs for wide receivers. Tackling is going to be key.
And one thing I noticed out of Kansas City, they were willing to jam our guys up at the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh, I don't think he's going to get fired because his situation.
Too much
like,
money.
look,
Yeah.
His situation, I'm like, damn, bro. I mean, I think you better off with the other quarterbacks than that kid.
And the guy you drafted, right?
Matt White and shoot, Josh Johnson looked great.
Right? Think Mike White just needs to knock off some rust and get a little bit more seasoning. But out of the two of them, he looked like he was more ready to play. What's his name? What was the guy? The rookie
Wilson?
that they drafted has got Wilson, Zach Wilson.
Zach
there
Wilson,
you go.
yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to call him Johnson, but Wilson has got the liver arm for sure, the better arm. But when it comes to football experience and IQ, Mike White looks like he's in a different class.
Oh.
Which is why I couldn't understand. I had heard that they were going to use Djax as a decoy, and they didn't even do that. And I think that once again, that goes back to an egregious mismanagement of the talent on your roster. And what I was saying when I was doing Stuart Schweigert's live last night, is that you got 53 guys on a roster. You have 46 active guys at one time, pretty much 23 guys on both sides of the ball ready to go. Why anybody wants to stick with has to win with 11 guys versus all 24 is beyond 23 is beyond me. Djax, if you need a speed aspect to open up your passing windows, that's what you need to do. They were struggling. The pass routes, the calls, the concepts were all running directly into the zone, and they had nothing for it. They were getting stymied. They threw in Djax, and with a couple plays of Djax, got you a bomb to Brian Edwards that scored. It got you a bomb to Djax that should have scored, and it opened up the offense just with 3-4 plays. In 3-4 plays, it was a huge difference.
Oh, you know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Stoner ain't it, bro.
I told you.
Ooh. Y'all were better off going. Y'all were better off going with Turner.
When I saw them activate Stoner and 8 men, I was like, oh God.
Well, better
Uh,
off going with DJ Turner. DJ Turner, like I covered him back when I was at University of Maryland. The guy got speed. That was the speed you could have. He may not have been tall, but that's the speed that you would want out on that field. Now, hold on. I'm gonna stop. DQ, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Zay Jones be getting open. When
they need to throw him the ball, is what they need to do.
Zay Jones gets open, and I just scratch my head every day, like, why? Why?
And it's not just that he gets open in pretty much the same spot, which is offense by design. He is open in between 10 to 15 yards in between the hashes, directly in front of Derek, and somehow Derek never ever seems to see him. Now
So,
he's always look at. So this is what I've seen, and you can correct me or you can add to it because I don't need to be corrected. Derek is looking for his receivers in the first window when they hit the break. If they're not open once they hit the break, he's leaving. He's going through his progressions and he's not coming back. Derek has had time to come back to receivers. He's had time for as much as he stared guys down, he ends up staring the wrong guy down. He's always staring down the check down or the easy out route. So you could go back, and for the last 2-3 games, Zay Jones is running across the middle wide open in the second passing window with nobody in front of him and a guy at least 5 yards behind him, and he won't get a sniff.
so you want me to shit on everybody's parade?
Please do.
Now, you understand when we were saying that he kept calling too many audibles at the line of scrimmage? This man went back to some of the plays that they ran versus the Giants. And once again, does not even look at Zay Jones. They run that Aces crossing route.
Mm-hmm.
Zay is wide open up top
all day long, or even after that was against the Giants.
I'm gonna tell you this: he gonna beat Sorensen. I don't care what anybody say. You can fight me, square up, put your dukes up, because you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
I'm gonna beat you with the same brick that Craig used with Debo. The fact of the matter is, he's not giving his guys time
to get open,
develop in the route. Now, my thing is this: when you got your whole body facing one side of the field where you don't really need to do that, it's just I can look at Dax Prescott. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start right out here. That's why you see quarterbacks do that hip drill.
That hip drill.
That hip drill, it helps you like, okay, boom, boom. It's like you're prancing on your feet. Boom. I can reset. Boom. I can reset. That's all you got to do. He wants to have his whole body facing his target, and all you got and every defender locked in on is going right over there.
Mm-hmm. Following his eye straight to the ball, because he's never been good at looking off the defense. Never been good at holding the defense with his eyes.
That's why you see Prescott shoot. Even Tom Brady even does it. That's why you see your top you see your top quarterbacks throwing for about 5,000 yards or more, because you got, I'm using my hips. Tom Brady old behind, using his hips. Avocado ice cream eater, using his hips. Derek Carr, I got to turn my whole body around, brother.
Whole body. I need to be stopped, looking at you, making sure that I know there's nobody in front of you, nobody, and that window is good. and then turn around and throw it into double coverage,
Yeah.
or a YOLO ball across the middle.
I don't care what anybody says. You don't throw that ball, even if he got hit. You don't throw that ball. If you turned and looked to your left, who's right there?
So
Even if it became an incomplete pass, or even if he caught the pass and it's short for the first down, you know what you're not dealing with? A turnover.
So now on that throw, so he addressed it in his press conference, and what he said was that he was going to Zay Jones. Now when he said that, and then when I look at when he reached back to throw, I was like, bro, that was going to get picked off. That safety was right there. You weren't going to drop it in that bucket.
Y'all gonna hate me because you know what? I'm gonna sample that audio. I'm gonna just sample that clip and then show the play to where Zay Jones was gonna be at. Y'all gonna hate me tonight.
Hate him tonight. Well, then we will adjourn and come back together at 7 p.m. Western tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. Join us for the late edition of the Unfiltered Truth. So with that, we out. Everybody, much love. God bless.
We out.